Hey there, Hallmark Hot Takers, and welcome back to another episode of Hallmark Hot Takes, where we are reviewing all 23 Countdown to Christmas movies from the Hallmark Channel and rating them according to...
Candy canes.
5 each, or not. Just depends.
Depends on how it is.
So tonight we will be reviewing Christmas She Wrote, starring... Are you
Murder,
ready?
She Wrote.
No, I wish it was like Murder, She Wrote. That would have been awesome. If Angela Lansbury... That would be amazing.
I think she's dead.
I don't know. Rip Angela. Danica McKellar, otherwise known as Winnie Cooper of
The Wonder
Years.
Wonder
yes.
Years.
So, and Dylan Neal. So when Kaylee loses her column, her New York
Newspaper.
She goes home to Pine Ridge, California, and her boss follows her to try and give her a job back.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and recap this movie. So
And then we'll do a review. And then we'll do a preview.
it's all gold. It's gold.
Awesome.
You guys are so lucky. Okay, so Kaylee is a roving columnist from New York City who finds out that the new boss who's been put in charge of the newspaper is like axing everybody to save money.
Right around the holiday season.
A couple weeks before the holidays. So Kaylee's column, Your Best Life, where she dispenses advice on how to live your best life as a former therapist, gets canceled. Trip, the editor, says you're done. So Kaylee says, well, okay, well, you're a jerk, you're a bad man. I'm going back to California, somewhere around Lake Tahoe-ish, to go see my family for Christmas. So she does that, and we come to find out that Mr. Grantham, who is the owner, I think, of the paper.
Yes. Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, who you may remember from Christmas in Evergreen. So Mr. Cooper, Mr. Grantham, tells Tripp, why did you axe Kaylee? She is a much beloved columnist. Get her back or you're fired.
Yeah, or you're fired.
So Tripp, wanting to keep his job, calls Kaylee. She doesn't answer, so he's like, I gotta go to California.
Yeah, I'm a stalker.
So
Let's
he does.
go.
He goes to California and he offers her a job back, and she's like, dude, go pound sand. It's not happening. You're a jerk. You're a bad man.
Bad man.
And so he decides he can't leave California until she agrees.
Well, because he won't have a job.
Because he won't have a job. So he stays in this little Pine Ridge something town. And Kaylee offers to do a column for a local newspaper called the 12 Days Before Xmas, and they're going to do, they do events, and she writes a column and dispensing all of this advice. And of course, Tripp goes to the events, and there's the bonding thing, and we learn a little bit more about both of them. Tripp is business. His dad was business, so that's why he just wants to lay people off and, that kind of thing. And we find a little bit more about Kaylee, who 5 years ago was... dumped 2 weeks before her Christmas wedding by her boyfriend Dan, who went to go build hospitals in Haiti.
What a loser.
So that is why she left her therapy practice and then went on to do this column. While they're there, Dan actually comes back.
He's back.
And decides he wants to restart things with Kaylee, who is like, well,
Screw the Haitians.
Yeah,
Like,
we don't care about the Haitians
who
anymore.
cares?
We want Kaylee. Kaylee's a little on the fence because, they actually talk it out, whatever. And so all the while you are finding more about Kaylee as she's opening up a little bit to Tripp, that she actually is, she's almost finished with a novel that she has been writing for several years, but could never get the last chapter right because she doesn't have her own romance.
Right.
So as she's spending time with Tripp, he inspires her, and she writes the last chapter. Yes, she does. And guess what she does? She lets him read it. Tripp reads the novel. But Tripp is an idiot, and he decides that he is going to take her novel without her permission, pitch it to the publishing wing of his company, and they, of course, on the spot offer her this deal. Well, she's very upset about this because it's obviously a huge invasion of privacy, and they fight, and there's this gala at the end, and her
The
and
snowball.
Dan, the
The
snowball,
snowball.
right? So her and Dan decide, we're just kidding. We don't really want to get back together. And
Well,
Dan actually goes back to Haiti. He asked her to get back together. She says she's thinking about it. Then when she's about to tell him she doesn't want to, he's about to tell her that he's rethought it too, and he's going back to Haiti to build more houses.
Save face. I like it.
And then Tripp comes back. He's quit his job. He's going to move to San Francisco to pursue a career in journalism. And she's going to stay in California because she got her column back in New York, but she can do it from wherever she wants. And she gets a book deal. And they dance, they kiss. And that is Christmas She Wrote.
We should do some reviews.
For reviews.
All right. It is review time.
We're so excited.
I don't have a lot of notes.
But it's Winnie Cooper.
Winnie Cooper.
You should really disclose your bias here, too. Jay doesn't like Danica McKellar.
She did Kevin wrong.
Winnie Cooper done Kevin wrong, and Jay's never forgotten it.
No, but I'll tell you, I'll give you this. She wasn't the worst thing about this movie. So, I would dare say, one of the best parts about this movie.
Well, good job, Winnie.
Good job. So it starts off, so things I had here. I don't know if you want to take this as a positive or negative. It's a negative. There's like no chemistry between the two of them. He's this robot man, and she's robot lady. Like, no one wants to watch this. It was so forced, and it was so fake. I hated it every second of it.
Why would you think that was a good thing?
I don't know. I was rooting for Dan, the doctor guy, just because he was a little bit more interesting and not as robotic as Tripp. So
fired.
So I thought that was really that was the one character I liked. Mr. Cooper being back.
Mr. Grantham.
Mr. Grantham, who is AKA Mr. Cooper.
Who played the same character.
Same crotchety old man character. Was amazing.
He should play every crotchety old man in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
He was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I loved him in this movie.
He should have been in it more.
He should be in every movie.
Okay, well that's
every movie. It was so weird. Like, she calls her sister up and says, "Hey, like I'm coming out." You know, like she's got shit canned, and she's like, "All right, I'm." I'll have to burst that one out. So she gets fired, and she's talking to her sister. She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come out." She's like, "When you come out?" She's like, "Tomorrow." Like, what? Like, she just made the decision to come out. She's like, "Yeah, I'm landing tomorrow." She's not going
to Aspen anymore.
Yeah, but it's like New York to California, and like she just had.
She's gonna go to Aspen. It's not that much.
But
farther.
She planned it for tomorrow. Like,
she just bought a plane ticket. Why is that so weird?
Like the day of? That's great. I don't like that. Other things that I loved of this, that is the fact that there's this moment they're at this bar party, and Tripp goes up there and he's like, he'll buy a round or whatever for like a half hour. Was it a half hour?
Half hour.
Half hour. And then Dan comes up right after. He's like, and then an hour after that, I'll pay for it.
I have that written down as the drink pissing contest.
Like, that is amazing. So, like, if you're at this party, it's an hour and a half of free drinks. Like, that's not safe for anyone. Like,
no,
that's not a good idea.
You better call some Ubers.
That was not very responsible of either one of them. But I would have appreciated that. That's all I had for this. So all in all, one candy cane.
Yeah, I expected that.
It was double the evergreen, but not much.
It was, yeah, okay, well, I'll tell you. So here are the things. I'm going to go with my likes first, which you know is never good news. So when Mr. Grantham is first talking to Tripp on the phone and telling him you need to get Kaylee back or you're fired, and Tripp is trying to argue with him, and Mr. Grantham just hangs up on him. And it was amazing, and I wanted it to happen again. I thought Kaylee has a best friend named Steven, who she's been best friends with since high school, and I think Steven was actually the best thing about this movie. He was just...
Not better than Mr. Grantham, but yes.
He was better than Mr. He was just like... I just liked him. I liked the actor. I liked his character. He was great. So her conversation with Dan about why they broke up, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but he actually kind of got really real, and he was like, I was really upset with you for not following me to Haiti. And I thought that was actually kind of like, hey, that's Dan's perspective. And we don't usually get that. It's usually like, oh, I take the blame. It was just, I thought that was actually a really good talk. This is something I liked, but it was... So Tripp in this movie is just such an idiot. Like, everything he says and does is the wrong thing. So he actually says to her at the end of the movie, he's meant to be telling her how he feels about her. And it's meant to be a compliment, but he says to her, I didn't realize how miserable I was until I met you. Every woman in the world wants to hear that from the guy that she's into. Yeah. So that was amazing. And, okay, so the things that I disliked. So she hasn't been home for Christmas in 5 years because of this breakup. And then she usually goes to, like, what was it? Aspen. And then she cancels the Aspen trip and only goes home because she's depressed. And I was just like, geez, if you're her sister, that's kind of, I don't know. So Tripp keeps calling her before he goes out to California. He keeps calling her and calling her and calling her because he needs to get her back. And he calls her for like 3 days. And she just, the first time she actually answers the phone and she's like, hey, it's Tripp. And she hangs up on him. I'm like, grow up, lady. Kaylee, like, you want to be a grown up, New York columnist. Answer your damn phone and have an adult conversation. It was supposed to be like all of this, like, passing off her stubbornness as empowerment, but it was really annoying, and I just wanted to slap her silly. The title for her column, The 12 Days Before Christmas. Please, be more original. Yeah, I hated that.
And then they, like, acted like it was an amazing idea.
Right. Really? And, of course, there was events that went with it. Everything's a GD event. So during her conversation with Dan,
Rachel's not gonna like you saying.
She says she didn't want to leave her family to go to Haiti with Dan because she would have missed them.
Right.
But then after they break up, she hauls her butt 3,000 miles to New York City, leaves her family and her job.
Right.
It was you, Dan.
It's not Haiti though.
Everyone in the movie is just super awkward the entire time. Like, everyone's just awkward. And the drink pissing contest was funny, but not right. Tripp credits Kaylee with coming up with the phrase, you only live once. I don't think that she coined that phrase.
YOLO.
The Pictionary game, where, like, they weren't actually playing Pictionary. Yeah. They were just, like, thinking up things and acting them out and pretending they were on teams.
It was like charades, yeah. But, like, instead of, like, drawing things, they just had to, like, make it up on the spot, and if your team guessed,
you won. It was so stupid. So here's the thing that I hated the most. Okay, she writes this book and she finishes it, and she gives it to Tripp to read, and they show a scene of him reading the book, and it's all bound, and it is literally a ream of paper thick. This is the longest romance novel in the history of romance novels. It's literally a ream of paper. It's too long. It's probably like 250,000 words. Never going to get published.
It was giving the Bible a run first.
And then, how stupid is this guy? He takes her book without telling her and thinks he's doing her this big favor and takes it to a publisher who in one day, by the way, decides, oh yeah, we want to publish that.
Well, it was a good
Doesn't
book.
work like that.
It was a good book.
So Tripp is a total moron throughout the whole movie. He just literally trips his way through to the romance. It's not a good movie. I'll give Danica McKellar props for not being the most annoying thing in this movie.
That's what I said.
Best friend Steven was delightful. This movie's not good, but it is better than Christmas in Evergreen. So I have to award it one candy.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen.
Yeah, and that's it.
That puts us at 2. Near the bottom.
This is 2 in a row that were not good.
We're streaking.
Where's Lacey?
You got to bring Lacey back just to bump the ratings.
But. All
right, okay, wait, we'll do previews in a second.
Okay, so this is actually really exciting. So the next movie is called Love, Lights, and Hanukkah. And as Christina prepares her restaurant for Christmas, a DNA test reveals that she's half Jewish. So the discovery leads her to a new family and a new unlikely romance over these 8 crazy nights. And this
crazy nights.
This movie stars Mia Krishner and, ready? Corey Matthews himself, Ben Savage, is in this movie.
Yes.
And Mary Lou Henner, who is just...
I don't know who that
Oh,
is.
you'll know her when you see her.
Okay. I'm excited then.
Ben Savage is in this movie. A Hanukkah movie. So this is pretty interesting.
I love Hanukkah.
It's going to be great. We are so excited.
Let's do this. All right.
Peace.
Bye.